All right, let's get real. Ever notice how some people just love to test your boundaries? They interrupt, they make passive-aggressive comments, they treat your time, your energy, even your feelings like they're optional. And we're supposed to just smile and let it slide? Not today. If you're done putting up with people who don't respect you, this lecture is for you. Because today I'm breaking down brutally honest, maybe even a little controversial ways to handle disrespect without losing your cool and without sacrificing your self-respect. So buckle up, because by the end of this, you'll have every tool you need to deal with the people who cross the line, drain your energy, and try to make you doubt your worth. This is about taking your power back with calm, with clarity, and with conviction. Let's jump into it. Set the standard and speak it clearly. Respect doesn't start with other people, it starts with you. People treat you the way you allow them to treat you. And if you're not setting a clear standard, they'll create their own. And trust me, it will always be lower than what you deserve. Think about this. If someone walks into your home with muddy shoes and you say nothing, what message do you send? That it's okay, that this behavior is acceptable. And once you allow it once, you've just set the new standard. It works the same with your life. You've got to set the tone. You've got to let people know with calm confidence, here's how I expect to be treated. Not with yelling, not with guilt trips, but with firm, direct boundaries. Something as simple as, I don't allow that kind of language around me. If you raise your voice, I'm ending the conversation. My time matters. If you constantly disrespect it, I won't make space for you. Not everything needs to turn into a confrontation, but everything needs clarity, because when you don't speak it, you teach people that silence is approval. And the truth is, most people aren't mind readers. They don't know your limits unless you tell them. And unfortunately, some do know, but they'll keep pushing unless you push back. Not with aggression, but with boundaries backed by action. Because a standard without consequences is just a suggestion. So here's what you do. Get clear with yourself. What are your non-negotiables? Decide how you will respond, not react, when someone crosses them. Then follow through with consistency. People will test you, some will get upset. That's okay. Their discomfort is not your responsibility, your self-respect is. The goal isn't to be liked by everyone. The goal is to be respected, starting with how you respect yourself. So speak your standard, set your boundary, and don't flinch when it's time to enforce it. You're not being mean, you're being clear, and clarity is power. 2, stop explaining yourself to people, committed to misunderstanding you. Let me say something that might set you free. You don't owe everyone an explanation, and especially not to the people who have already decided not to respect you. No matter what you say, no matter how clearly you say it. Some people aren't looking for understanding. They're looking for control. They're looking for the upper hand. And when you try to explain yourself over and over again, they don't hear you. They just see an opportunity to poke more holes in your self-worth. It becomes a game to them, but it becomes emotional exhaustion to you. Let's be real. If someone is committed to misunderstanding you, your logic, your kindness, your reasoning, it won't matter. You could draw a map, send them a letter, hold a mirror up, and they'll still twist it into something it's not. Because the goal isn't understanding. The goal is to keep you questioning yourself. So what do? You stop trying to convince them. You stop handing over explanations to people who only want to argue. You stop watering down your truth so it's easier for them to digest. Because here's what most people never tell you. Self-respect sounds like this. I've said what I needed to say. I'm done repeating myself. That's not arrogance. That's emotional maturity. You're not responsible for how someone chooses to interpret your boundaries. You're responsible for maintaining them. You can be kind and still walk away. You can be fair and still be firm. You can wish someone well and still decide they don't get access to you anymore. So the next time you feel that impulse to explain your boundary for the 5th, 6th, or 10th time, pause. Ask yourself, is this a conversation or a trap? Because the people who truly respect you, they listen the first time, and the ones who don't, they don't need another explanation. They need less of your energy. 3, distance is a power move. Use it. You want to know one of the most underrated forms of self-respect? Distance. Not anger, not shouting, not even confrontation. Just quiet, firm, unapologetic distance. Because here's what you need to understand. Not everyone deserves access to you. And when someone continues to disrespect you after you've made your boundaries clear, the most powerful thing you can do is remove yourself. You see, people get used to your energy. They get used to you showing up. They get comfortable with the idea that no matter how they treat you, you'll still be there. You'll still answer their calls, still respond to their messages, still bend, still tolerate, still hope they'll change. But distance wakes people up. It sends a message louder than words ever could. I value myself too much to keep showing up where I'm not respected. It's not about being cold. It's not about being heartless. It's about preserving your peace. Let me be clear. This isn't a passive-aggressive silent treatment. This is not about punishing others. This is about protecting you. It's about creating space between you and the behavior that keeps you second-guessing yourself, keeps you feeling small, keeps you waking up with that heavy feeling in your chest. Sometimes peace looks like not replying. Sometimes healing looks like walking away without fanfare. Sometimes the most powerful version of you is the one who doesn't beg, doesn't explain, just chooses better. And when you create that space, something shifts. You begin to breathe again. You begin to think clearly again. You begin to see the situation and the person for what it really is. And guess what? If they notice your absence and step up, good. If they don't, you just got your answer. Either way, you win. Distance isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Because when someone keeps disrespecting you after you've spoken up, you don't argue with them. You move. You let your absence do what your presence couldn't. 4. Respect yourself loudly, even if they don't. Let me ask you something. How do you treat yourself when no one's watching? How do you speak to yourself when the world is silent? Because that is where real respect begins. It's easy to demand respect from others, but the harder question is, are you giving it to yourself first? Because the truth is this: people mirror the energy you project. If you constantly downplay your worth, apologize for your dreams, stay quiet when you should speak, laugh at jokes that hurt you, or tolerate treatment that makes your soul shrink, what message do you think you're sending? You're telling the world, I'm okay with this. But when you walk with your head high, when you speak up without shaking, when you take care of your body, your mind, your goals, your time, even when no one claps for it, you teach people how to treat you. Self-respect isn't about arrogance. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about saying, I matter, I have value, and I will not abandon myself to make others comfortable. You want respect? Start showing up for yourself, loudly, boldly. Wear what makes you feel powerful. Say no without guilt. Say yes without needing permission. Walk away from tables where you're only invited to sit, but not to speak. Don't wait for others to validate you. Validate yourself. And when they treat you like you're average, don't lower yourself to prove them wrong. Rise to your standard and let them rise or stay behind. Because when you respect yourself, you become magnetic, not because of arrogance, but because of certainty. You stop chasing approval, you stop explaining, you stop shrinking, and something powerful happens. The wrong people disappear, and the right ones start taking notice. But even if they don't, even if the people around you never give you the respect you deserve, respect yourself anyway, loudly, consistently, unapologetically, because self-respect is not about how they see you, it's about how you see yourself and what you refuse to tolerate from this day forward. 5. Walk away like you mean it. Here's one of the hardest truths you'll ever learn. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not fight, not argue, not explain, but walk away. Not with bitterness, not with a dramatic exit, but with clarity, with peace, with self-respect so high you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Because walking away isn't weakness, it's strength. It means you finally understand your value. It means you've stopped negotiating your worth. It means you've outgrown situations, environments, and relationships that ask you to shrink just to stay in them. And here's the key: you have to walk away like you mean it. Because if you half walk, half look back, half hope they'll chase you, they won't take you seriously. They'll see hesitation, they'll sense doubt, and they'll believe they still have power over you. But when you walk away with certainty, when you choose yourself fully, without apology, without second guessing, it hits different. Because nothing shakes people more than losing access to someone who finally realized their own worth. Look, you can't beg someone into respecting you. You can't convince someone to value what they don't see. You can't fix people who benefit from keeping you broken. But what you can do is remove yourself. You can reclaim your time, your energy, your voice, and you don't need their permission to do it. You don't need closure. You don't need a grand final speech. You don't even need them to understand why. Because your healing doesn't require their awareness. It only requires your decision. And when you walk away, don't just leave the room. Leave the story. Leave the cycle. Leave the version of yourself that kept trying to earn love, prove your worth, or tolerate pain in the name of loyalty. Let them wonder why you stopped reaching out. Let them question where the old version of you went. Let them feel the absence of someone they thought would never leave. And let that be your closure. You don't always get a goodbye, but you always get a choice. So when respect is no longer being served, don't stay and starve. Push back your chair, stand up, and walk away like you mean it, not to hurt them, but to finally heal you. 6. Don't match their disrespect. Rise above it. When someone disrespects you, the natural instinct is to hit back, to match their tone, to throw the insult right back in their face, to teach them a lesson. But here's the hard truth. When you mirror disrespect, you lose twice. You lose your peace, and you lose your power. Because now, it's not about what they did, it's about how you reacted. And suddenly, you're just like them, emotionally volatile, easily provoked, and worst of all, they pulled you down to their level, and you helped them do it. Let me say something you may not hear often. You don't need to fight to prove your strength. You don't need to raise your voice to make your presence felt. You don't need to trade disrespect for disrespect just to make a point. Real power is restraint. Real maturity is choosing clarity over chaos. And real self-control, that's knowing when someone's trying to bait you and refusing to bite. Think of a thermostat versus a thermometer. A thermometer reacts to everything around it. Gets hot when things get hot. Cold when things get cold. It reflects the chaos. But a thermostat sets the temperature. It controls the climate. It doesn't get shaken. Be the thermostat. When someone throws shade, throws insults, throws bad energy, don't pick it up. You're not here to prove anything to people who have already chosen to misunderstand you. You're not here to win small battles with people who are losing wars within themselves. When you meet disrespect with silence and class, you flip the power dynamic. You stay centered, and they become the ones scrambling to get a reaction. Because that's what most disrespectful people want. They want a reaction. They want to shake you. They want to see you lose control. Why? Because your calm exposes their chaos. Let them flail. Let them talk. Let them gossip. Let them be petty. You stay grounded. You stay unmoved. You stay focused. And if you must speak, speak with purpose, not emotion. Speak from your truth, not from your pain. Say what you need to say once and let your actions handle the rest. Because here's what you'll notice. The louder you respond, the smaller you feel inside. But the calmer you stay, the more powerful you become. So next time disrespect knocks on your door, don't answer it with more noise. Answer it with calm, self-assured silence, or walk away entirely. And always remember, matching their energy might win you a moment, but mastering yourself will win you your peace. 7. Don't confuse tolerance with strength. Let me make something clear. There's a big difference between being strong and being a doormat. Some people wear their silence like a badge of honor. They say, I'm just patient. I'm the bigger person. I let it slide because I'm strong enough to handle it. But listen closely. Enduring disrespect isn't strength. It's self-abandonment dressed up as virtue. Too many people have been conditioned to believe that the more they tolerate, the stronger they are. That the higher their pain tolerance, the deeper their character. But let's be honest, what you allow is what will continue. What you tolerate is what you eventually become. You can't keep letting people walk all over you and call it kindness. You can't keep absorbing disrespect and calling it maturity. You can't keep betraying yourself and calling it love. That's not strength. That's slow self-destruction. True strength is recognizing when someone is treating you poorly and having the courage to stop it, to speak up, to say enough, to set a boundary and actually enforce it. And yes, that might mean losing people. That might mean confrontation. That might mean being uncomfortable. But that is what growth demands. You weren't born to be everyone's emotional punching bag. You weren't put on this earth to teach others how to love by breaking yourself into smaller pieces just so they'll notice you. Strength is not how long you can stay in pain. It's how quickly you recognize that pain and choose to rise above it. Let me give you a truth that might sting. The longer you tolerate disrespect, the more it becomes your normal. And the more it becomes your normal, the harder it becomes to leave. It becomes a pattern, a cycle, a trap. And over time, your self-worth starts to erode. Not because you weren't valuable, but because you stayed around people who treated you like you weren't. So here's your wake-up call. You don't owe anyone endless patience when they've shown you consistent patterns of disregard. You don't have to keep explaining why you deserve better. You don't have to stick around to prove your loyalty while they test how much you'll take. You owe yourself respect. And if that means walking away, do it. If that means disappointing others to honor yourself, do it. If that means being seen as too much for finally speaking up, let them think that. Because the strongest people aren't the ones who stay silent the longest. They're the ones who know exactly when to speak, exactly when to stand, and exactly when to walk. Don't confuse your tolerance with your strength. Real strength sets the limit and enforces it with no apology. 8. Teach people how to treat you every day. Here's a powerful truth that too many people overlook. People don't just magically know how to treat you, they learn it from you. That's right. Every interaction you have is a lesson. Every word you speak, every boundary you set or don't set is a message. Every time you allow disrespect or demand respect, you're teaching people what's acceptable. You see, respect isn't something you earn once and then it sticks forever. It's something you build and reinforce every single day. Think about it like this. When you first meet someone, they don't know your worth. They don't know your boundaries. They don't know how far they can push before they step on your toes. So what do? They test you. They poke at your limits. They look for signs, tiny signals that tell them what you'll accept and what you won't. Are you someone who says yes when you mean no? Are you quick to forgive but slow to confront? Do you laugh off disrespect because you don't want to cause a scene? All these things send loud messages that shape how others treat you. Imagine you're a teacher. Every day you give lessons in respect whether you realize it or not. if you're clear and consistent about your boundaries, if you speak up calmly when someone crosses the line, if you back your words with action, then people will learn quickly. This person values themselves. I can't take advantage here. But if you're inconsistent, if you let things slide sometimes and fight others, if you send mixed signals, then people get confused, and worse, they test you more. Respect is a language, and you are the teacher. The good news, you don't have to wait for someone else to change. You have the power right now to change how people treat you by changing how you treat yourself. When you honor your own time, energy, and feelings, when you stop saying yes out of guilt or fear, when you prioritize your own peace over others' opinions, you create a new standard. People respect what you respect. So start today. Set clear boundaries and keep them. Speak up when something bothers you, even if it's uncomfortable. Don't wait for others to give you permission to demand respect, because respect isn't given. It's taught and earned through consistent action. You have the power to shape your relationships, your environment, and your life, one moment, one choice at a time. And once you start teaching people how to treat you with respect, you'll find that your confidence grows, your peace deepens, and your life transforms. Closing. Own your power and demand the respect you deserve. Now that you know these truths, now that you've learned the rules of handling disrespect, there's one thing left to do. Own your power. Respect isn't something that just falls into your lap. It's not about hoping or wishing. It's a choice, a daily decision to stand tall, set boundaries, and refuse to settle for less than you deserve. Remember, you get to decide who stays in your life and how they treat you. You have the power to walk away from toxic energy. You have the strength to say no without guilt. You have the courage to teach respect every single day. It won't always be easy. Sometimes you'll face pushback. Sometimes people won't like the new standards you set. But that's not your problem. Your job is to protect your peace and honor your worth. And here's what happens when you do. You stop feeling drained by others' negativity. You start attracting people who lift you higher. You build a life filled with respect, dignity, and true connection. So right now, take a deep breath and make this promise to yourself. I will no longer tolerate disrespect. I will speak my truth with confidence. I will teach others how to treat me with respect and kindness, starting today. Because the moment you claim this truth, you become unstoppable. And that's how you win, not just in moments, but in life. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, respect starts with you.